Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Melvin, and we're going to be talking about a build that I've affectionately dubbed Spirit Thorns. This uses Spirit Thorns off of the Spriggan From in the Druid Mastery. And we scale with crit. It has pretty decent clear. It's insanely tanky with all of the healing totems and the healing from your Spriggan Companion, as well as like all the leech you get from the Druid tree. So it's just a great time. Super tanky, great single target. So yeah, we're going to talk about the skills first. The first and most important skill is Spriggan From. This gives you access to your primary spell, which is Spirit Thorns. And in it, we're going to focus on scaling our Spirit Thorns with more Spirit Thorn damage, the penetration node for it to cut through enemy resistances, and then we're also going to be maxing out as many Veil Spirits as we can get to just have even more Spirit Thorns. And then we're also going to have healing totems scale off of our Thorn Totem tree. This lets us use another skill and lets them shred the enemy resistances. But first, we're going to talk about the Summon Spriggan. This is my favorite companion, as you'll be able to tell from my previous video. Offers you flat added spell damage at very little cost, in addition to, for our purposes, 4% added crit chance, which scales with increased critical chance in a very nice way. So in the Spriggan Form tree, or the Summon Spriggan tree rather, we are mostly focusing on the aura, increasing our healing, giving us dodge chance, giving us that added spell damage, as well as the critical chance. And then we're going to pick up some utility nodes with the Summon Vine and the Entangling Roots for the Spriggan. For our Thorn Totems, since we're not scaling totems in any meaningful way, the best option here is to go after Armor Shred and attack speed, just to reduce enemy armor by a ton, versus only one enemy, typically a boss. We can get to 50 to 60 Armor Shred stacks super reliably. Once you've got all of your attack speed and I guess it's cast speed for the totems. Once you've got your cast speed for the totems and the armor shred nodes, then after that, focus on additional totems and duration, since this will let you summon more of your healing totems that use the Thorn Totem tree. We're also spec'd into Entangling Roots, simply because we have the extra skill slot, and once you get maximum Veil Spirits, it'll auto cast it, so it's basically free. For this, we are focusing on the physical. We want the physical resistance shred, so that our physical spells deal even more damage. I also chose to use the Circle Nova effect. It does add a cooldown, but it's only 4 seconds. You're not going to be able to build up your Veil Spirits in that amount of time without just an insane amount of cast speed, so the cooldown doesn't really matter. It adds a little bit of extra protection, as well as some extra clear in a circle around you. We're also picking up the Seed node and some additional healing from it, just again for the added healing of this build, which already has insane healing. Our last skill is Eater's Blessing. Really kind of for a lack of a compelling option otherwise, since we are transformed, should be 100% of the time transformed. We don't really have access to any other skills. It gives us some extra healing and some totem chance, and then because there's the passive that lets you auto cast Idur's Blessing on spell cast on a 12-second cooldown. So it just is another free skill, kind of like Entangling Roots. For the passives, we are only using the Druid and the Primalist tree, and we're using the Druid Mastery. For the Primalist tree, only do the 20 to get to the Druid tree unlocked. Focus on your health. You have plenty of damage in the early stages of the game. So focus on your health, get to 20, and then start saving up and putting them into the Druid tree. In the Druid tree, we're again focusing on health, but we're also going to nab all the added flat damage that we can, as well as cast speed and crit chance. This is the core of our damage. Once that's done, we are then also going to grab the 9 points that you need for the automatic cast of Eater's Blessing on spellcast. This lets you use essentially the 5th skill specialization slot. Once that's done, once you have all the points allocated to your Druid tree, then go ahead and fill in the rest of the Primalist. We're going to be picking, after the Druid tree, we're picking up the damage in the Primalist just for that extra bit of damage. There's not really any safety that's super compelling in the Primalist tree. In terms of itemization, you kind of want to balance between crit chance and crit multiplier. I think a safe feeling crit chance is 70 to 80%. You don't necessarily need to max it, though obviously that would be ideal. And then crit multiplier just means that your critical strikes deal a ton more damage. After the crit chance and crit multiplier, the second best option is level of Spriggan From. You're really only going to be able to find this on your relic, so if you can find a +2 to Spriggan From relic, that is already almost best in slot, in my opinion. With the additional points for Spriggan From, you want to pick up the node that lets your totems cast, gives your totems a 10% chance to cast Spirit Thorns when you do, and then also additional maximum totems are also great. If you want to, you can also focus on the armor side of it a little bit on the south part of the tree. Beyond that, focus on spell damage, focus on physical damage. Obviously, also in terms of defenses, which is primarily going to be your suffixes, focus on health, get your resistances as close to max as you can, simply to add your survivability. We use a shield, so use block chance if you can, or block effectiveness. Armor's also very good, since we just end up having a lot of it between the passive skill tree. And then also we use a lot of endurance with this build, with the Druid and the Spriggan From in particular. It's kind of trivial to scale endurance super well. I was fortunate enough in my play to get a shield with a tier 6 or 7 endurance. So basically I'm just kind of automatically endurance cap at 60%. And then with the kind of the super mastery or the super passive in the Druid mastery that scales health and then also gives you endurance threshold based off of your max health, I essentially have at minimum a 30% maximum health endurance threshold and then the 60% endurance. So it's very, very hard to get one shot with this build, even without all of that additional tankiness. And then your healing totems are fantastic with keeping you topped up, making sure a bunch of small hits don't take you down. For your idols, you want at least 1% chance to summon a Thorn Totem on hit. The Thorn Totems and then your Healing Totems actually do not share the same maximum. Well, they share the same maximum, but they don't share the same pool, so they don't cancel each other out. So with minimal investment, and pretty easily, in fact, you can get 5 Healing Totems out, and then 4 Thorn Totems just for a huge amount of armor shred on the opponent. You need at least 1. You don't necessarily need more than that, because you just have so many Spirit Thorns flying around that even just the small chance gives you a huge chance on every cast to summon one. So other than the singular Thorn Totem idol, you want to focus on either the double health idols if you can, or if you want more damage, you can get spell damage while transformed and spell damage while you have an active totem in the 1x3. So those also scale super well. But that's going to bring us to the end of this build guide. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of the views I've gotten. My first video did pretty darn well for my first video, and it only being a week. So again, I would appreciate any likes and subscribes you throw my way. If you want to continue watching this, keep an eye out. I do plan on releasing a new build guide every single week. Typically, hopefully new and interesting builds, or at least builds that I find new and interesting, that I typically find just while playing, where I see a skill and I'm like, I want to make a build out of that. So again, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/melveed, same spelling as this channel name here. Have a fantastic day.